I left a ton of links in the description, so if you want to do your own research on any of the stuff that I said in this video, there should be a link for basically everything in the description. And I also will leave timestamps in the description for you can skip ahead. Like if you're already level 60 or level 70 and you want to know what gear you should get, I don't think it matters level 0 through 70. So I'll have timestamps in the description for you guys, just where you can skip ahead if you don't want to see the full video and you just want to see what you're most interested in, what your level is, what your level gear is. Hey guys, Hello Road here. Today I'm making a video on gear. I'm just gonna quickly go through gear from like level 0 to level 140 and what the gear I use, what gear I would recommend, optional gear you can go for, and just a few other things. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of tips, and yeah, I'm just gonna try to help out the newer players get better gear and know what gear to go for. Because a lot of people have walked up to me and asked me like, oh yeah, can you help me get better gear, or what gear should I get, or what? A lot of people have questions on gear, so I decided to make a video on it to help the newer players and help you guys get situated and know what you're doing a little bit better in the game. I'm gonna go over the gear that I ran through my wizard, through my level 140 wizard. I'll go through all the dungeons that I went through and all the gear that I decided to get first, and then I will go over the optional gear that you can get along the way, but I decided to opt out of it because I wanted to do the least amount of grinding as possible. Because a lot of these gears that are optional that I did not decide to go over, it also takes a lot of time to get. I'd rather go over big leaps of time without having to farm for gear than having to farm for gear every once in a while. So I chose to go from 0 to 30, from 30 to 60, from 60 to 100, and from 100 to 130. And there's gear in between those time skips that you can get decent gear in the middle, but it's just, I would recommend doing the same thing I did and just go from 0 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 100, and then 100 to 130. It just saves you so much more farming and so much more time. But again, I will still go over some of the optional gear you can get in between. Alright, the first thing you want to do when you start Wizard101 and you want gear, the best place to go to is the Bazaar. Now on screen, I'm currently going to the Bazaar just to show you how you get there. I'm pretty sure almost every player knows about the Bazaar, like if they're watching this video, but if you don't, just follow where my wizard's going and it shows you how to get to the Bazaar. So from level 0 to 30, there's no dungeons that can really help you get good gear, so the best place to go is the Bazaar. So just go in here and just go to buy. I'll show you guys. Go to buy, and then go to whatever gear you want, like whatever item you're looking for, and just click on this thing right here, level. Click on it twice, and then it'll show you like the high. I don't know if it shows you like the highest level in general, or the high, or just click usable. So click highest level until it shows the highest level, then click usable. And if you're on a low level wizard, it'll show you the highest level gear that you can possibly buy at your level. And instead of getting the universal gear, just get the gear for your school. So again, just go to the Bazaar, click usable, go through all of this, and from level 0 to 30, every like 5 levels, just go to the Bazaar and buy new gear, because that's really the best gear you can get from level 0 to 30. And then next, I'll show you Mount Olympus. Alright guys, so in order to get to Mount Olympus, the first thing you want to do is you want to go from O-Town to Cyclops Lane. Once you're in Cyclops Lane, you want to go to the teleporter hub, and after you take the teleporter hub, directly behind you, you will see, well, if you're high enough level, you've unlocked it, you will see this horse and this chariot, Apollo's chariot. You want to press X on it. Now, I have to wait a few seconds, but this will take you directly to Mount Olympus. Now, Mount Olympus is where you're going to get your gear, roughly from level 30 to level 60. That's because the next big dungeon is at level 60. So you want to pull up your map and you want to just go to Mount Olympus, which is right here. So this is the dungeon you want to do to get your gear, again from level 30 to level 60. And then if you can team up for it. It might be a little bit difficult for lower levels, but just again, Mount Olympus is the way to go from level 30 to level 60. Alright, and then when you hit level 60, you're going to get Waterworks. Now, Waterworks, I'll show you guys how to get to Waterworks. Let me just Go back on the horse. For each dungeon that I go to on this gear guide, I will show on screen some, if not all of the items that you should get for that dungeon, like what it looks like. Now, because I'm a life wizard, I mainly just showed all the life gear. There are instances where I show other gears, like other school gears, but for the most part, I'll just show you what it looks like for a life wizard when you get the gear you want from these dungeons. For the Mount Olympus dungeon specifically, from Zeus, what you want is a hat, robe, and boots. And before you get to Zeus, there is another minion that he will give you a wand. It's called the Sky Iron Hasta. It's the best wand you can get from Mount Olympus. So Zeus's wand in Mount Olympus is good, but the Sky Iron Hasta is even better than the one Zeus drops. For Mount Olympus, I really recommend that you use a higher level player in your party because it just runs so much faster. For all of the dungeons that I'm gonna list off in this guide, it goes so much faster if you manage to get a higher level player to help you, because they can just kill the bosses and minions so much faster. Alright, now again, once you hit level 60, you want to go to Old Town Road, and then you want to go to Trenton Avenue. And in Trenton Avenue, you're going to see a rope. I'm gonna show you guys on screen. The rope takes you to an underwater area, and in this underwater area, there's a dungeon called Waterworks. And that is where you go in order to get your level 60 gear. So again, just go to this teleporter real quick on the side. Once you take the teleporter, you want to go to High Ledge now. Wait, is that the teleporter? I'm an old school player. They changed around the teleporters, so I'm not really like super used to them yet. Okay, so just follow the route that I'm taking specifically, and you're gonna see a rope right here to your right. I'm glad they haven't moved this rope yet, but this is the rope that takes you to Crab Alley, and in Crab Alley, that is where Waterworks is. So Waterworks is like right around here, if I'm not, it's either right here or right here. Let's see. Yeah, I know it's not any of these. Again, it's either like right here or like right here. But Waterworks is your next go-to place. Is it that one right there? It's the next go-to dungeon to get gear. Waterworks, here it is. So on the map, it is right here. And this is where you go to get level 60 gear. While farming for Waterworks, I recommend you get the hat, the robe, and the boots. You should keep the same wand you got from Mount Olympus, just because there's like not really any better wands, even in Waterworks. So just keep the same wand. If you want the Waterworks wand, go ahead. But the one you have from Mount Olympus should be just fine. And everything else, you can just go to the Bazaar every 5-10 levels to get, because doesn't really drop from Waterworks. So again, the boots, the hat, and the robe is what you're looking for from Waterworks. Once you hit level 100 and you're ready to get shadow spells, you're ready to do what you have to do to progress through the story, you're gonna unlock something called Darkmoor. Now, Darkmoor is a very difficult dungeon to do if you're unprepared. There's cheats in Waterworks, but there's so many more cheats in Darkmoor. Like, when you're gonna run Darkmoor, I really suggest that you look up every single boss you're about to fight, look up all of their cheats, and just try your best to be prepared. Because unless you have a high level wizard with you that knows exactly what they're doing, Darkmoor is a very, very difficult dungeon to complete. I repeat, it is very difficult. Now, it used to be even harder. It used to be a lot harder than it is now, but it's still difficult if you don't know what you're doing. So as long as you have a coordinated team, you can do Darkmoor really easily. There's 3 dungeons to Darkmoor. This is Castle Darkmoor. So when you're doing the quest, the first one you do is Castle Darkmoor, and then after you finish the dungeon for Castle Darkmoor, you'll unlock a teleporter over here. Then the next dungeon you can do, I keep getting stuck. The next dungeon you go to is this one right here. No, that's the last one. That's the wrong one. The next one you get is this one. After you finish the first dungeon, you'll walk out this door right here, right behind me. You'll walk out of this door. You'll talk to Mr. whatever his name is. You talk to the Toad. And then the next dungeon will be across the hall right here. You have to complete this dungeon to unlock the final dungeon. And I'm gonna go back to the teleporter and I'm gonna show you guys the final dungeon. So when you want to get when you want to get Malister's gear, like his whole gear setup, you go to the final one. So when you finish this the first time, do not do the first dungeon, do not do the second dungeon, go straight to the last dungeon. Now, there are key bosses scattered around the first and the second that you want to do for gear, but if you want to fight Malister and get Malister's gear, you want to straight up go to this one from the teleporter that I just showed you and run Graveyard. This is the one where you will fight Malister over and over again. This is the last one. Alright. Now, Darkmoor has a lot of key bosses that give you really good drops. Like, for example, like the amulet, like the ring. Those types of things you get more from key bosses than actual Malister. But the robe, the hat, the boots, and the wand, those are all dropped by Malister. So if you want to get, again, the robe, the boots, the helmet, and the wand, go to Malister. Everything else, you would have to farm key bosses or other bosses. And you can also do Morganthem, which I'll talk about later towards the more optional side of the video. But again, just keep in mind that there's a lot of loot you could get from Darkmoor, like a whole set of loot from Darkmoor. It's just that some of them are key bosses and some of them is from Malister. And for different schools, people recommend different setups, but if you want to look more into that on your free time, go for it. I'm just here to talk about the general things. Wow. Okay, real quick in the video. If someone texts me and you just say, help me, okay, he said please. Never mind. We're good. He said help me, please. If you would, like, I get upset when someone just like teleport or port for like out of nowhere. Like, if we're cool, then I don't care. But please don't just hit me up and say help. Please. If you say please, I'm okay with it. But again, it's just so annoying when someone just texts you like port. Go ahead, port. Like, it's just like, why? I'm not obligated to port to you. Next up, at level 130, you go to the drains, the underground drains area, and it's a interesting place, but I'll show you guys how to get there. So first thing you do is you go to the commons, and once you're in the commons, where you go is you go up into Golem Court. Golem Court is the place to be to get the drains, or whatever else you want to call it, the sewers. This is for level 130 here. So you go to Golem Court, and there should be a dog right here, and you talk to her, and when you finish talking to her, you'll unlock the drains. You go down the drains, and this is where you go to get all of your dragoon gear. You have to craft it. It takes a super long time to get it. What I would recommend is every time double reagents pop around, hop in the drains, because it will save you so much time if you come to the drains during double reagents and just farm for the reagents during double reagents, because it takes a lot and it takes so long. So there's 3 reagents you need. You need salts, you need alchemical extract, and you need crystals. Let me see if I have any. Okay, I have extract, I have salts, and I don't have crystals. So you need 300 extract to get 1 dragoon. This dungeon gives you 10 per run. You need 5 salts. No, it's I don't know how many salts it is. I think it's 10 salts. You need 50. It's 300 extract, 50 salts, and then 5 crystals to make 1 set of gear. To make that 1 set of gear, it will take you like a full day of grinding, and you have to grind 3 different dungeons. Now, in the drains, there is Vanguard Gear and there is Dragoon Gear. Your Vanguard Gear, you can either craft it or you can get it from bosses. Now, I would recommend that you get it from bosses, because crafting Vanguard Gear and then turning it into Dragoon Gear, it costs a lot of reagents. It costs so much more and it takes so much longer. If you just have a good team that's willing to run a boss over and over again, even though it's a really low drop chance, I guarantee you that you will get the gear a lot faster if you decide to farm for it over crafting it. That's for Vanguard. Now, Dragoon, you have to craft it. There is no other way. You have to craft it. And so I would recommend farming all of the Vanguard gear and then converting it all into Dragoon gear. That's level 130 gear. It's a super grind. It's very painful. But hey, it's Wiz. Like, this game is just a grindy game. I suffered through it. Again, double reagents is your best friend during this time. Just try your best and just be patient, because It takes a long time to get Dragoon gear. For max level gear setups, I recommend, like, if you want to do like PvP or you want to have like the best gear possible at max level, I honestly just recommend going to Blake PvP's video from this one, because at that point he already made a whole video for like max level PvP gear that is probably perfect for not just PvP but also PvE. Now I don't know if the gear video is only oriented towards PvP, but I do know that he made a max gear guide already. So I don't really see a necessity for me to make one if he already made one, because I trust Blake and I'm pretty sure his gear video, his gear guide video will be very helpful. So again, just look up Blake PvP. He already has a max level PvP guide out there. Just go watch that and I'm pretty sure it will help you. Alright guys, so this is going to be the optional section of the video. This is where like all of the stuff that you can farm for, if you really want to, you can do it, but I didn't do it personally. It would help you most likely, like in the long run, to get this gear when you're at these levels. It's just that I personally didn't feel like grinding for them. They're really good sets of gear. I just didn't feel the necessity to farm for them myself. So I'm gonna quickly like speed run this a little bit and just quickly, like, if you guys want to do your own research on this gear, go for it. But I'm just gonna quickly just name them off, or you can look them up on your free time. So first off, we have level 90 80s gear. Then from there, level 96 Chrysalis crafted gear. Level 99 Morgatham's amulet. Level 125, I don't know how to say this, but Kabbalist gear. Levels 120 through 130 Mimic / Paradox gear. And that is really all I have to say in this video. I really hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day. Hello World, out.